everyone, and welcome to Lakeside. And first of all, I haven't done a video for about 3 weeks now, so apologies for that. But I wasn't in a particularly good place up here, and it was getting to me a bit. Not the layout, just life in general, to be honest. But of course that affected the layout, and I really didn't have any inclination or the mojo to go up here and do anything. So there's no point in doing a video if I hadn't done anything. I'm glad to say that I've turned that corner now, and I'm feeling a lot better. And you probably noticed that I turned the notifications off on my last video, and that was because that was really the first stages, if you like, of me going down. And I just could not be bothered to answer some of the comments which had come in, and it really was down to that. I just couldn't be bothered, primarily because a lot of the comments at the later stages were just ludicrous. And I thought, you know what, I really can't be doing with this. So I just turned the comments off and just let the video run. And it was just silly, stupid comments which wound me up. Now, when you're in a low period, low comments become more exaggerated than normal. And so you become kind of hypersensitive. It's difficult to describe what happens, but you become hypersensitive of just everything. And yeah, I was getting comments, for instance, I was getting comments like, oh, you know, you've got 2 pubs with the same name, the 2 shops with the same name. Well, of course I know. You know, I live with this layout every day, and I know that. And I've said so many times that, you know, this layout is far from complete. And the buildings along the back there, they're not complete. They've got lighting to be fitted, they've got the edges to be cleaned up, I've got to change the name of the pub and the shop. I know I've got to do all that, so there's absolutely no point in saying to me, oh, you know you've got that. Well, yes I do. So all these things conspired, and I was getting so fed up with them. I thought, you know what, turn it off, which is what I did. So I'm sorry about that. It was kind of a little anger point in my behalf that I just had to do it because I was getting, at that time, so wound up with it. Normally it would go straight over the top of your head and I would have a laugh along with you as well, but at that time it really was not funny. So I was in a pretty bad way. So I said, right, stop it, do other stuff, and which is what I did. It was hard, but I managed to get through the couple of weeks, and that phase is now going. So I'm on the up again, thank goodness. And my wife, who was a occupational therapist before she retired, did some of her occupational therapy on me. And one of the things she suggested was for me to start building again, some of the buildings, just to ease me back into normal routine, if you like. So that's what I did. And so I've built a couple of buildings, and one of them being this one here, which is the multi-storey car park. And this is the first time I've used what they call scale scenes, and you pick the building you want online and you buy it, and then you get the permission to download it. And a few people are doing this now, and it's quite a neat way of doing it. So anyway, I knew I wanted this multi-storey car park, and prior to getting this one, I built their free kit, which you can do. Bear with me, I'll go and get it. Right, so this is their free kit which you can download for nothing and print it out, and it's just a very narrow low relief building which is a typical engineering factory or a garage or something. So I downloaded that, very impressed with it. It went together extremely well, and yeah, I thought, right, great. That gave me then the confidence to buy this one. After building this, I wanted to find out really what was involved in downloading a kit and mounting it on card, cutting it all out and gluing it together, and more importantly, what were the instructions like. I built another building, which is the super quick building, like chalk and cheese. They really are like chalk and cheese. Now that was a kit, and it was diabolical. It was a horrible kit to build, and I've got it on the layout, but I doubt if I'm going to keep it on there, to be honest with you. It's horrible. But I gave it a go, which is, I find it strange because I've built one previous super quick building, which was the building in the centre over there, the market house, and that was fine. That really went together well. It looks nice, but this other thing, I'm sure it's donkey's years old, the kit. The instructions were tiny writing in pale blue on a white background, and you know, it drove me to despair, this thing. It really did. And at the end it looks horrible anyway, but scale scenes, they really are doing some cracking buildings. So that was the first one, and I've made it into a garage, and I found a back scene to go here and here, which is of a typical garage, if you like, with ramps for cars to go up on this side, and on here you can't see it from there, but in there is a car on a ramp. So that came out very well, and that's going on the back. And this one was complicated, to say the least. It was no, it wasn't complicated. It was a lot of work. It wasn't actually complicated. It just took quite a bit of time, because there are 23 sheets which you have to print out to make the kit, 6 sheets of A4 of instructions, double-sided, not double-sided, double-columned on each page, and so it took a fair while to do, and a lot of it, obviously because it's a multi-story, a lot of it is repetitious. So for instance, all these fascias here and on the side, there's 10 of those to build, there's 5 of those to build, so a lot of it is repetition. Plus obviously 5 floors, but once completed it actually is a lovely building, and I'm chuffed to bits with it, apart from one thing, one little gripe, and that is that I almost got to the end and I was looking at it, I'm thinking, how do I actually get any cars in there? Because that distance between there and there is very small. There's no way you can get a car through the front or the side, and you can't do it through the back because the back is sealed. So I'm thinking, how on earth am I going to do this? So, ingenious plan, what I did was I made these sides, not that one, but those 4 there, I made those removable, and all I've done is that I've stuck black tack on the back of each one of these, so that I won't do it because I don't really want to disturb them, but you can see, I left it up, you can see that probably wobbles a bit, and that's because that's just fixed on there with black tack, so that I can take that off and put my cars in this side, work the way along, and under each car I've also got some black tack, so that stops them moving about. So it's typical Falston. It's all held together with black tack and sticky tape, but it works. It looks the part. So that's basically what I've been doing over the last 3 weeks or so, is building buildings, tarting up some of those over the back there by using the felt tip pens, going around the white lines on the corners. I've got to weather this yet. That's not weathered. It's come weathered on the printed sheets, but I still want to have my own weathering, like the buildings over there. So whatever you see, whatever I show you, for goodness sake, remember, this is far from complete. Okay, I know all the things which are wrong, like 2 pubs with the same name, 2 shops with the same name. I know all that. Okay, I don't need reminding. But obviously I've got to get all the basics done first, which is obviously the high street, so that the vehicles can move up and down, which they do now. I bought a bus, a red bus from Fuller. It's a bit Germanic and it's got German logos on it, but that's no big deal. I can either not be bothered and leave it as it is, or I can take those off and put some UK badging on it. No big deal at the moment. That runs a little faster than that, so that will catch that one up eventually. So I googled, as you know, with fellow vehicles they do run a bit fast anyway. This one's perfect, but this one is a little bit fast. So I googled this, and apparently several people have attempted to slow these down by varying methods, and one of the methods which I like is that they take the batteries out of this and they put a lower voltage battery in it. And I think these are 3 volt in total, and one chap put in 1.2 volt battery, and he seems to think that what he's done is okay, it works, and works out about the right speed. I've yet to do that yet, but it's something I will try. I say there are various methods which I found that whereby people were slowing them down. Someone had put on a Oxford die-cast bus because it's die-cast metal, so it's heavier, so therefore it slows it down automatically. I'm not keen on that idea, to be honest with you. If it's that heavy, then I've just got this feeling that might be causing something to burn out eventually. I would much rather lower the voltage in here. But as I say, there's various methods. So I've now got the bus, and the reason for getting the bus was that that's the longest vehicle. I won't have lorries going around, not the articulated lorries. I might have an ordinary lorry going around, but certainly not articulated. So the bus is the longest vehicle which will be going up and down the high street, and I wanted that so that I could then accurately do the corners. So there's a lot of stuff going on. I've done the 2 facades on that end of the layout now for the bridge, and I'll show you that shortly. So there's quite a bit done. I've also redone a point over there because there was a point on that section which was, sometimes it worked and sometimes it wouldn't. It was an old point, so I thought at this stage I might as well just take it up and put a new one down, which is what I've done. So I've got to ballast that and re-weather the track in that area. So that's it. Now I will swing you around on the, well, I won't swing you around, I'll just swing the camera around. I'll swing the camera around and I'll show you what I've done so far and where that may go. Okay, so I'll do that now, and we can talk about what I've done up there. Okay, so see you in a minute. Bye for now.
Hello again. Right, this time we'll start at the left hand end of the layout instead of the right hand end, and the reason being, I want to show you a few things up here. First of all, there's that horrendous super quick building. It really is horrible, hate it. So although I built it, it's not going to go on the layout. I've just left it there for now. So I've done that. There's the facade for that front edge here. It's not quite finished, almost, but not quite. I've got to infill. Where is it? Here. I've just got a piece of brick paper to put up this side here to get rid of that gap, and around that side too. So those two are now done, and there is an RSJ. Oh God, there is an RSJ just here. But of course it's clad in brickwork, so you can't actually see the RSJ. And that's the retaining wall which goes down there. And what I would do is that piece with my finger, that piece there, which is not fixed down yet, but I shall then blend that in along here, and then it will go up here. And there'll be a tree here as a scenic break to get rid of that join. So that's that. Now if I stand back, I've not discussed this section at all, I don't think, and this is what's going to happen. This section here, which I have said to you, is going to come out, and the road will continue along here and down and into the village, which is what I have said to you before. But what I've done, I've got out my old bridge which was on the previous layout, and it's going to be positioned there with an infill just here of brickwork, and the small section of this at the top, so that will go straight along and down in the same pattern as what all the rest does. But of course the fuller car system will still run round here. It will not run down here. That's why the workmen are there, to say that that road is going to be closed. Now the plan is, as you know, this is going to be the village all the way around here, and including this section here next to the manor house, and this section here next to the manor house. So that is not the only footprint left. It will come across to here, and likewise over that side. So the plan is, are you ready for this? Okay, this is going to be the road just here, and between one of these houses I'm going to have the other system to the fella, which is the Magna Rail, and I'm going to have the Magna Rail running around a very small loop along the high street, around the back of one of the houses, and this will be their back gardens. If you can imagine this being their back gardens, there's going to be a small track run between their back gardens and the railway track, and it will come round. That's fallen down again. It will come round, go under the bridge, do a turn and go back, and then along the high street again. It may not come through the bridge. It may just do a loop going round along the back, back down and around there again. And the reason being is that I want a cyclist. I'm not interested in putting moving cars on it. I'm really just interested in two bikes. So there's a husband and a wife going out for a little ride on their bikes around the village, and it'll be in a kind of a little configuration going through there. So I will still have movement within the village, but it won't be the fella it would be Magna Rail, and with the Magna Rail that's going to be quite a short loop, so I shouldn't have any problems with chain stretching or anything like that. So it's going to be quite a short loop, and what I want is to be able to put my cube camera on the track and run it on the inside track here, run it along the back of the houses and photograph or video the cyclists coming along the track and coming back round. And I think that would just look so nice, but that is after I've done this up here. So that's the plans for here. Not a huge amount left to do because the roadway is in, the wire is in. Most of the work, to be honest with you, is these buildings. That's where the work is going to be. I have also now got all the components ready for my bus. Let's get my bus and I'll show you what's going to happen. If you remember, I was talking about the entrance to the railway station. So here is going to be the entrance to the railway station, a proper entrance, and it will come across and it will come down as a lift so that disabled people can come from the road into the station area, buy your tickets if you want. No, perhaps not buy tickets. Tickets will be in buildings like this down here. Into an area here, go down to a platform level here through an elevator system, and then down here, take that out, down here will be a subway, and thank you to all the people who suggested that. It's a brilliant idea. A subway with an elevator so that they can get down in wheelchairs, etc. Go underneath an underpass and come up the other side. That negates any bridges, ugly bridges going across the layout. So if we look at it from here, so it'd be the entrance, elevator down, and a subway to go from here over to this platform. And I think that will make a really nice detail for the platform. And I've seen kits for subways, not the Pico one, I'm not keen on that, and escalators, and they will work brilliantly. So that's going to be on those two platforms there and there, with a lift up to the main street with a proper entrance. So getting back to the bus, obviously I need a bus to drop off and taxis to drop off passengers. Let's take the zoom off. So I've now got the components from the fuller car system so that the bus can go along, pull in to the entrance, passengers can get off, and then, let's move him out of the way, and then it will pull out and move on to the main part of the roadway. And it's two little motors which you inset into the roadway, and it acts just like a point on a track, and it just changes position like that. It's just a little piece of wire which you bury into the ground, exactly the same principle, and you won't see it, and it just moves left and right. Yeah, so that's that. So I've got that, I just need to fit it, and so I can have a lay-by here for the bus to pull in, and a taxi rank too as well. So that's that. I've gone over that building there with my felt tip pens and got rid of all the joins. It might look white on some of those areas, but that's the light shining on it. And that one there. I haven't done the Regal because I didn't think the Regal needed it. That looks fine apart from just here and here. And there's one pub called the Crown and Anchor, and there's another pub called the Crown and Anchor, and there's one shop called Hall and Rawlinson, and there's another shop called Hall and Rawlinson. I know that. They will change, believe me. Right, getting near the other end now. So we have the park, as you can see, and then we have the garage. And now we have all that area here for the multi-storey. Now, as you know, I had planned to have the multi-storey here, backing on to the railway, the track. It doesn't work. And it doesn't work because, for two reasons. The back is just plain card, which is no big deal because I can cover that in brick as the side. So I could just cover all that in brickwork. If I place it there, like that, it works, it's okay, and I've still got enough room to bring, I have to redo this, I've still got room to bring a vehicle round and back through there, so it does work. My only concern is that when you're viewing the layout, normally you view it from here, and that really isn't a particularly nice shot. It's just a side-on shot, and you have to come here to get the view of the car park. The other thing is, if I view the camera from this side, I'm just going to have a big piece of brickwork there. How often am I going to shoot from there? Quite often, probably, especially if I've got trains running from here, running around, they just see a great big piece of brickwork. So that's not great really. It's okay-ish. So I thought, okay, how about here then? That fits perfectly for the actual width. Fits there perfectly, absolutely right size. But again, you've got that massive, great big brick face right in front of you. More importantly, you lose all the detail of the building. You've got to go right the way round here, like that, to see anything. So that's a big no-no. So how about here? Same thing. I've got to go all the way round here to see it. And also, with my cube camera going through there, all I'm going to capture really in front of it is that brick building. So what I'm thinking is putting it there. And the reason I'm doing that is twofold. One, it's not blocking anything. I don't have to put a big brick panel at the back to disguise it, and you see the full thing running next to the Kingsway Motors. By the way, this high street is now called Kingsway. Many thanks to the subscriber who suggested that. Absolutely brilliant name for it, Kingsway. It looks right, doesn't it, and sounds right. Kingsway. Anyway, so I think that sits there very nicely, and I can always do something along this bank here, or the edge. It also then got me thinking, let's get my van, The van at the moment is going to hit that because the actual wire is about here, I think. So I've got to change the route of the wire so it's about here. But wouldn't it be cool if I could have this van or anything going into the car park, going back round and then coming out of here and joining up with the route on here. Trouble is, of course, it's short. I don't think there's any way by the time he's gone round in there and then turned round, the radius will be too short in that width, will be too short. However, I have got some room at the back between, not much, but I've got some between here and the wall. So I could cut a hole in the back here and extend it so that it's got enough room to go in, go along and turn round, go through here, turn round and come back out of here. And I'm really liking the idea of that. If I bring that slightly forward to about here, I might not even have to cut the board at the back, because I can print, and this is a great thing about these kits, I can print as many of these off as I want. So I could in effect have that again back here, and all I have to do, if I position it about there, once I've got the position right, all I then have to do is to then reroute this wire coming around here and back out. That would then give me the room to have something going in here, going around. It won't go up floors, you know, I think that's asking a bit much. It'll just go round and back out through here, and I think that would just give it a little bit of interest. So I should be working on that. I've got it in my head what I want to do. I just need to fathom out how I'm going to do it. I'm pretty certain I know how to do it now. So that's it. Oh, I have placed, it's not glued in yet, I have placed in my next signal to wire up, which is the home signal, plus I'm going to have to fit another one, the distance signal, about there, which I've got, but I just need to do it. Like everything, there's always something else to do. So there's lots and lots and lots of stuff to do. Entrance, car park, other buildings, signals, airbrushing, ballasting of the new point, airbrushing, finishing this. What I've also started doing was a crossing which will go all the way across to help disguise this joint, and it's glued down on this section only, so this side is free from that joint but it's glued this side so that I can still lift up section up. So when I've got a few 5 minutes or so, I just cut a few more of these and glue them down and then carry on doing some other work. Right, so that's it. I'm not going to waffle on anymore. Just an update to let you know that I am still alive and kicking, getting back to square one again. And yeah, onwards and upwards. But it's coming on. It's coming on. I'm very pleased with it. It'll be interesting to see how this Magna rail will turn out. So that's going to be quite neat, seeing that run. But that is quite a way off yet. that's got to be done first. Okay folks, thank you for watching, thank you for being patient, and hopefully I will get another video up in a week or so. Okay, so bye for now and have a great weekend. Bye for now.